around 82k. If I'm right, let's check it out. I just did analysis. BT is around 82k now. So yes, 82,751. And it may go further. But then my point is that from my personal perspective and an analysis, when we go back to the higher time frames, like considering the weekly time frame and then also the monthly time frame. So either the weekly time frame or considering the monthly time frame, what we could get in better perspective is the market still have a good shape. What is this? The market still have a good shape, and that could take us to a better move. But there's a 1 week. Let me get the 1 week time frame. So that's my take. The markets have a good move, a good shape to go with. So we don't need to panic, right? We don't need to panic because we still have a good way to go. But personally, my take is that if we consider the market in this perspective, the only time that we can be bold enough to say that BS are reigning in this market, the only time we could clearly be bold enough to say that BS are reigning in this market, maybe that is when we spot out a decisive 70k to 65k trend. Personally, no matter the analysis you do, I will have to tell you that it is bear market. Once I spot out an opportunity on the decisive, decisive. You see, sometimes as you are studying support and resistance, you may realize that there may be a time where a trend may just fall on maybe 60k, very weak, at a weak zone. In this case, if I get to realize such an opportunity, I have every right to say, no, this thing is not going to work, it's not going to hold, right? So, personally, with my personal conviction, once you see the market that is having a decisive move, maybe a strong support zone at 65, 70k, 65k, then you could realize that no, this thing uh there is a problem. You get it. So for now, I personally believe that we still have a good way to go in the market, and um yeah, so we need to exercise patience enough to observe. It's part of the game. So patience is also required for us to observe what is yet to happen. Yes, nothing new, just the old thing. We see markets rising and then manipulations happens because always when there is going to be a great opportunity in the market, it has been happening. So this time around, too, let's fold our arms. But there is that opportunity for us, and we know. So that's what we are going to talk about today. Let me see if we are ready and we have that numbers to keep going. Let me do that. Okay, so let me get back to the Zoom. Okay, we are 21, and I believe we are good to go. All right, so good morning once again, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. We are 21 here and we are good to go. Well, so it's technical analysis, and we've been having this session every morning. Like I said, pardon me, for the past 2 days, you've not been able to meet. Yesterday, it was a technical issue. which prevented us from meeting, and I'm very sorry for that inconvenience. Right. Okay, so we started with a lesson on support and resistance, helping traders to identify the very key zones that they will be able to spot out opportunities where they can make good profits. And we said when it comes to support and resistance, it's a fair game for every trader, and this or support and resistance is the basis of your technical analysis. After knowing candlestick patterns, you should know how to draw support and resistance. So we used the basic means of drawing support and resistance, like using the lines, and after using the lines, having the um, index, the V, and then the V index form to draw support and resistance. We asked traders to use that opportunity to at least we got 3 or 4 traders who took part in the lesson practically. They got opportunity, they shared their screen, and they drew the very zones, drawing support and resistance on the line for us, and we got it very clearly. And afterwards, we ended the session. So this morning, we are going to look at it, how to use HTF, MTF, and then also LTF to spot out your very key zones, having your support and resistance, and if possible, we also look at some of the big zones, fake support and resistance zones that sometimes we traders we are mistaking it for good opportunities in the market. So I believe my traders, my students are ready to learn, and they can hear me very loud and clear. All right. So if you are ready to learn and I'm very loud and clear, just give me a one in the chat. Just drop one there for me to know if my people are ready with me. Just drop a one in the chat. I hope I'm not breaking. Drop a one in the chat for me to know. Good, 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 good. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's go. So, good. All right. So now, when it comes to support and resistance, the last time we drew, so this is 3 month time frame, right? So let's go back to our normal chart. So let me have this here. Mm-hmm. I believe you can see now. Mhm. All right. So now, the last time we talked about how to draw support and what resistance. Now, mostly the question about support and resistance is very simple. In what time frame can I read the chart very clearly? So once just drawing support and resistance alone is not enough. Okay, drawing support and resistance alone is not enough, but it also requires the ability of the trader to know when and how to read those things that he has been able to draw. For instance, if you access to spot very key zones where price respected, price reacted, and price disobeyed, we can clearly use our sights here, or we can clearly observe that to spot out certain areas. So for instance, if we have this we can spot out certain areas or not on the chart. We can spot out certain areas or not on the chart, right? But if we are to draw support and resistance clearly, like we taught the last time, just go back. So over here, my take is that when it comes to drawing support and resistance, you don't need plenty lines. Hmm? Don't draw many lines here. What you have to do is at least at most three, 4 lines or 5 lines. They are okay. That is the first thing. So it's not everywhere that you have to keep drawing lines because you've seen a zone there, right? So just look at the essential areas and draw at least 4 lines or 5 lines. 4 lines is okay. After being able to draw these lines, they will help you to make good decisions. But the next thing is that after you drawing the line, a line must also support and resistance must also respect time frames. Hmm? They must also respect time frames. So mostly the next question that has to do with in what time frame should I communicate and to understand what I'm doing. So this is what brought us to the lesson, that is understanding the various time frames. So we have mostly when it comes to trading, there may be different time frame that you may choose to work with. But if you want to understand this concept very well, I choose to break them down into 3 forms. That is one, HTF, two, MTF, then also the last one is what LTF. Now I believe you know this, right? I believe you know this. Yes, to some it may not be new to you because you've taught this over and over. Okay, so being understanding your HTF, MTF, and then also your LTF will help you to be able to know when this is a real chart, this is a fake chart or not. This is a very good zone or not. So when we talk of HTF, we mean higher time frame. Now, each time frame has got what it communicates to traders on the chart. Take notice of that. Each time frame has got how it interprets the chart to the traders. So if you're a trader and mostly you get confused with the time frames, you need to take time to understand this. So for instance, this is 4 hour time frame. What is this? This is 4 hour time frame. And having the 4 hour time frame here, how do we call this 4 hour time frame? Should we call it MTF, LTF, or HCF? It may vary based on the trader's decision and what the trader wants in the market. And then also, two, it may also vary based on the type of trader you are. That was what I yesterday. So going with all this HTF, MTF, and then also LTF, you must also know the type of trader you find yourself being, right? So now we said HTF is what higher time frame. Now to some traders, higher time frame may be the 1 month time frame. Okay, it is that will be his higher time frame because that person may be a long-term trader or an investor. Okay, then we have the day traders. Day trader. As a day trader, whilst so over here we focus on analyzing the market based on perspective of day traders. As a day trader, when it comes to considering time frames to for us to draw our support and resistance or for us to read all the chart, the first thing that I consider on as HCF as a higher time frame is the 4 hours time frame. Then The MTF, the middle or the medium time frame has to do with 1 hour time frame. Then basically the lower time frame has to do with 15-minute time frame. That is from our side. Now, another person may also consider 30 minutes time frame, 15-minute time frame, and then also 5 minute time frame as a standard of measurement. In this case, the 30-minute time frame becomes the higher time frame, that is the HTF. The 15-minute time frame becomes the MTF, and then also the 1 hour, the 5 minute time frame becomes the what? Becomes the lower time frame, which is the LTF. Now, how do you use the higher time frame to interpret the chart such that the trader will be able to spot out and see what is happening? And what does the higher time frame normally communicate? Let me know if you get the concept, you get the idea in the chat. If you get it, give me one in the chat. Let me know if you get what we are discussing about the time frames and then how it reacts to our support and resistance. If you get the idea, give me one. Mm, good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Good. Let's proceed. Now, let me use my board. See. Okay. Now, why are we saying this? You see, anytime you have your support and resistance, so let's assume this is the line. We'll still go back to the chart. Okay. Prices are respecting these zones. Okay. Prices are respecting these zones. So there are always what you called major supports. Hmm? Major supports and then major resistance zones. When we talk of these zones, mostly we can easily identify these major support and resistance zones on what? On the higher time frame. Now, the work of the higher time frame is to give the trader clarity, is, is to give you the broad picture of the market. Mind you, the last time there was a time I told you something. I said when it comes to reading of the charts, it's a visual. The chart is what? It's a visual art or visual presentation, visual observation. So it's about what you see and how you understand what you do, what you see. It's about what you see and how you understand what you do, what you see. Do you get it? So in this case, on the higher time frame, the idea of focusing on the higher time frame most often is for you to get the clear picture of the of the market. And having the clear picture of the chart, it may able to help the trader to be able to do what? Spot out those major areas on what? On the chart. Those major areas on what? On the chart. So maybe over here in between this zone, so let me use this as an example. Okay. Maybe in between this zone and then this zone, there may be a new one here. But using the higher time frame will help you, the trader, to be able to do it, to be able to get the clear picture. Instead of you focusing on the noise in between, you will just understand that this is the clear picture of the chart. So for instance, let's go back. to the chart again. Let's go back. Good. Now, for you to understand this, let me use back your lines. Then, um, good. So, okay. All right. Now, let's use only these three. Okay. So, for instance, having this chart here, this is the 4 hour time frame. Okay, this is a 4 hour time frame. Now, having this chart here, let's look at something. So, the trader is only focusing on just few zones or just some important key zones or important zones on the chart. Okay. So over here, you assume your you assume to have this chart. You have the very key zones on your chart. Okay. Now having this one, you will also realize that there are few things here like this. Like these ones, you may spot them out here. What we are saying is that having the higher time frame, once you draw your support and resistance, those areas that you may mistaking them to be strong zones or to be strong zones which are very, very visible for everyone, if you're able to draw a support and resistance and then you have the clear picture on the higher time frame, it will give you a clear picture for you to know that no, these zones are not the good zone that I have to do. I have to temper. Why? Because they may be fake zones. So for instance, let's change the time frame. Did I change the assets or no? Okay, so oh, what's happening? Okay, all right. So now let's go back to the lower time frame. Mhm. Okay, good. So for instance, having the lower time frame here, you could realize that if you turn the chart to the higher time frame, you the opportunity whatever you're observing here is different from what you observed on the higher time frame. True of course. The information we have here is quite different from what we have on the higher time frame. So let me turn it off to the 4 hours again. Now this is 4 hours. What we are saying is that there will be certain zones that you may think you have to respect them on a lower time frame, but it is the higher time frame that will give you the very clear zone for you to see how things are going. So having this here, this, let's assume this is a rough sketch. Okay, now having this here, you've been able to spot out certain zones on the what, on the chart. You've been able to spot out certain zones on the what, on the chart. You've been able to spot out certain zones on the chart. Right. Good. Now, if you were to turn off this same thing, this same chart to the lower time frame, which is your 1 hour time frame. So we are still dealing with the highest the HTF. So good. You may realize that now everything changes. While you respect that zone as your a strong support zone, this time round it's rather turning out to be resistance. You get it? Those areas where you spotted them out as a support zone may turn up to be resistance. So that is the reason we said the last time that you should note that support may turn up to be resistance, and resistance to may also turn out to be support, because they are always not fixed. Depending on where you are looking or the angle you stand to look at the chart. Now change the same thing to 15-minute time frame. Good. Change the same thing to 15-minute time frame, and you're also seeing different thing here. Do you get what we are saying? So now, when it comes to various time frames and how to use them to interpret the chart, what you need to know is that your higher time frame first, just like a map. So what is it doing? It is giving you the clear picture, right? So having your middle time frame, so MTF, would also serve as, maybe let's assume that is what is give you directions on the map. So you have the medium time frame, it's giving you direction. You know that, okay, if I have the entire map here, so the map will tell you whatever that is happening, right, in the ecosystem or in the environment. But having your middle time frame will teach you how to go about what is happening on the chart. Then what about the lower time frame? It will be like your footsteps. So it will guide you, since you can see this thing here, you can see this thing here on the higher time frame. You realize that if it is uptrend or downtrend, you've spotted that opportunity. The lower time frame will teach you how to make that entry. So we use higher time frame to analyze the chart, middle time frame to observe confirmation on a chart, then also the lower time frame to make an entry. If you understand that, give me one. If you understand that, give me one in the chat. Let me know if you understand what we are talking about here. If you understand that, give me one in the chat. Let me know. If you get what we are discussing, give me one in the chat. Hmm? If you get what we are discussing, give me one. Let me know if you get it clear. All right. I want to know if you get it. I want to know. Okay. You didn't get it. I want to know if you get it. So, mm-hmm. Are we only four people here? Didn't get it. Mm, didn't get it. I'm here because of you, so just feel free. And I'm not, like I said, we are not rushing with the lesson. So um I need to take time to ensure you understand the session. All right. Okay. Now, this is what we are talking about. This is what we are talking about. Mm, mm, now, listen. We are still discussing support and resistance. Sorry. Support and resistance in alignment with what? With time frames. Time frames. Now, the discussion is that you can't draw support and resistance when you don't know how time frames react to these price zones. Why do you draw support and resistance? To identify key zones where price respected, price disrespected, and where the next price will react. Listen, we draw support and resistance to identify key zones on a chart where price reacted or price respected, price disrespected, and where price will move. Do you get it? So if I have my support and resistance, the next key thing that I need to know is price does not just react or respect a rule or a chart without following what you call time frames. This is the discussion. Without following what you call time frames. This simply means if you draw support and resistance and you don't have any understanding on how the time frames communicate, you might not do the right thing. Do you get it? Hmm? Now you go back to the charts, but I want you to get the concept here. So for instance, this is our resistance zone, this is our support zone. You have the prices here, prices here, prices here. Let's assume this is the prices. Okay. Now, if this same price should be converted to another time frame, let's give this time frame let's say 4 hours. Okay. If these same prices that are reacting here should be turned off to another time frame, we may see something different. We may see something different. What makes the difference is because on various time frames, prices react with different energy on different time frames. So now, like I said initially, we mostly are day traders. Day traders. So we have about three types of traders or four types of traders. We have day traders, we have scalpers, mm, so scalpers, swing, and then there's a position traders. Swing traders, then there's position traders. So over here, our goal as traders, mostly sometimes we scalp and sometimes mostly, but 90% is day trading. Day trading. So if it happens that you are a day trader, you are a scalper, you are a swing trader, you are a positional holder or positional trader, you still need to understand the language of the time frames and how they react on these various areas, or on how support and resistance react to them. So with this, what we are saying is we have at least three different time frames, and all these time frames may depend on how you want to use them. First, we said we have the HTF, 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 HTF. Second, MTF, MTF, and then the third one is LTF, LTF. Now, what does all this mean? So first, the HTF is higher time frame. Higher what? Higher time frame. I'm taking time, and I hope you are following. I've just slowed down to explain things to you. Hope you are following. Hmm? Are you following? Let me know. Are you following? Okay, very good. All right, good. So now, okay, good. Now, the next thing is that how do you use the higher time frame? And what we are saying is that now support and resistance, having the higher time frame will help the trader to be able to spot out major support and resistance zones. Major support and resistance zones. When we say major support and resistance zones, we mean strong support and what resistance zones. So having this price here, for instance, having this here doesn't mean that nothing is happening in between this. Price may be reacting here, price may be moving in between, but we are looking at the very key zones. We are looking at the very key zones here, right? So we are not going to focus on the middle here, the middle here, the middle here, but we are looking at these zones. Do you get it? I guess you are following. Right. Very good. So the next thing is that having this thing here, let me clean the board. You are just focusing on where price are what, respecting or price are reacting. Wherefore, what we are saying is that the higher time frame, the work of the higher time frame is to help traders read the chart clearly. Read the chart clearly, right? Which simply means that if you are a trader who doesn't respect higher time frames, you may always have problem or issue to do with your trading. If you only focus on the lower time frame, as in maybe you only use 15-minute time frame to make a decision, you may always end up getting liquidated. You may end up getting what? Getting liquidated all the time. Why? Because price reacts from top to down. price reacts from top to down. Price does not move from down to top. Buyers always push the price from the top to down. So whatever that is happening in the market, it's happening from top first before it descends. So if something is happening at the top and you are not seeing the same thing at the down, it simply means what you are seeing at the down is just a temporal moment. Do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? Doris, Nana, do you guys get it? Do you guys get it? Very good. Very good. Which simply means that if you want to trade, you must always learn to respect higher time frames first. Because like I illustrated, I use the word map. So it gives you the entire view of the chart. Do you get it? The higher time frame will give you the entire view of the chart. And after understanding and observing the entire view of the chart, now you begin to do a descend. You go down to check what is happening there. So let's go back to the chart again. Now, let me talk about the MTF and then the LTF before we go back to the chart. So if I'm a trader, if if I want to trade, I read the chart on the higher time frame. Now, the next thing that I have to reconsider is the middle time frame or MTF. Okay, just assume we call it MTF. So let's go. The middle time frame. What is it going to do? The middle time frame will help the trader to get what you call confirm if what you are discussing on the higher time frame is true or not, or it's in line or not. So the next thing that you have to communicate or you need to understand is what trading works with alignment. Trading works with what? With alignment. That is either you choose to call it confirmation or alignment. They are the same. You said I want to confirm. You just want why do you want to confirm? You want to confirm because you want to see if it's aligned or not. Hope you get it. So in this case, the middle time frame is what is going to help you to understand if what you are seeing there it's going to be or not. The next part is the lower time frame. The lower time frame is what you are going to use to make entry. Now, sometimes the funny thing is you look at the higher time frame, you drill your support and resistance, you know how prices are going to react. You get to the lower time frame, you are seeing something different. What we are saying is that the lower time frame, the middle time frame, though they speak, but they don't speak louder as compared to the higher time frame. Simple. So if you are drawing a chart, so let's go back to the trading view. Now I'm back here, right? Good. Now we drew our support and resistance. Mind you, we've not taken any measure for areas. So let's now go back to higher time frame. Let's assume 4 hours time frame. So what we are saying is that you see, once we turn the chart to 4 hour time frame, all what we are observing on this chart is different from what is on the 15-minute time frame. Hmm? It's different from what is on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, you can see it clearly. Do you see the difference? What we are seeing here is different from what is on the higher time frame. Let me go back again. Good. Now, on the support zone, the firm decision traders make is to buy, and on the resistance zone, the firm decision traders make is to sell. Listen attentively. On the resistance zone, traders sell, and on the support zone, traders buy. You get it? So let's assume if this chart is on the higher time frame, now we know that it's a strong what? A strong berry zone. That is buyers are taking sorry, sellers are taking up control over here. So having this your support zone, this is a support zone. If a trader would have to make this decision, it's going to be best of what of buying as compared to selling. If he's to sell, then he needs to do better analysis again and then on the lower time frame. So over here, having this chart, the next thing that you're going to descend is your lower time frame to check out what is going to happen. Do you get it? So now let's move back to our lower time middle time frame, which is let's use 1 hour time frame. Good. What we are saying is that having the middle time frame will help you to make confirmations in the market. Then the last part has to do with your lower time frame, which is the 15-minute time frame. Now, it is not fixed that you should always use 15 minutes as your time frame. As your lowest time frame, you can even use 5 minutes or 10 minutes as your lowest time frame. Now, if you are a scalper, scalper may consider using 15 minutes as his highest time frame, 5 minutes, and then 3 minutes. This is where a scalper will focus his ideas and decision on. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 3 minutes. Do you get it? So you should just the difference is just about the different types of what traders. That's all. So I believe you get it now. Using the different time frame, let me know if you get it. Which one is it again? Do you get it? Which one is resistance zone, support zone? Hmm? I don't get it. Either you ask the question or uh, huh? Okay. All right. Okay, so now listen. If you have any question, please you can ask your question before I proceed to answer them. If you have any question, you can proceed to ask your questions. Okay. Now let's proceed. Let me answer these questions. Let me answer these questions. Um. Okay. So now when we talk of zones, we mean areas where price reacted. Okay. So for instance, Since we said the higher time frame is what is going to help us get the clear picture and then read the chart. So we are reading the chart from the higher time frame. So let's turn it off to um, so now if you want to draw the what we call the chart, the first thing that you need is to focus on your higher time frame. You don't draw support and resistance on the lower time frame. We draw it using the higher time frame, your most higher time frame. Then after using your most higher time frame, you now go back, you go down to check it out. So when we talk of zones, we mean the areas on a chart where price reacted. So for instance, let me good. So for instance, if we have this particular chart, this is an area where price reacted and we saw buyers getting in straight away, right? So this is it. Then back to this zone, this area, okay? Before you even trace it back again, so top down here, we get it. Good. Now, that is the idea. So that's what we are saying. So when you talk of a zone is just very key zones on the chart. Okay, where price got rejected highly or price bounce back highly or strongly. Please hope you get it. So if you take the chart if you take our chart as an example, you may have these zones, maybe this zone, right? This zone, this. So you can, that's the reason I told you that you can draw your support and resistance at least having 4 or 5 lines. If we are to if I do more, we could get more zones like this area and so on and so forth. Hmm, you get it. So when we talk of zones, they are just areas on a chart where price respected. Hmm? So like this, okay, that is it. Now let me see the next question. Below, where black one? That one. Okay, so I believe your resistance zone and support zone you've understood. So now listen, let me add this. So for instance, if we are to take this chart, we may respect this is a zone, this is a support zone. Do you get it? Then this is a resistance, what? A resistance zone. This is where the price got resisted. This is the area, or this is an area where the price seated got is seated. That is our floor, which is our support zone. Please, do you get it? So this is so let's assume if we are to ignore this may be our resistance zone, then this is our support zone. So this is where the price got registered, and then this is where price got seated. All right. So I believe it may help. So you are asking what happens there, but I believe now you get the zone. So if you get the zone, you know what happens there. So repeat on the small time frames. Okay. Now on the smaller time frame, we said we use the smaller time frame to make entries. We use smaller time frames to make entries. So after me being able to assess the chart on the high time frame, knowing what can happen and what cannot happen in the future. So exactly, just knowing zones where price got respected, and if possible, it may take another 10 or go below. Having this in mind, if I go to the lower time frame now, as we keep learning, we said we have what we call confirmation. Okay, confirmation. So on the lower time frame, how do I know that the price it is aligning? It by observation of what is happening here. If what is happening here, sometimes I need to get a strong candle. So if you could recall in our lesson, we said um we have four plans, lesson plan, that is structural to confirmational to, and then also what entry tools. So it is a strong candle that may help you to do to identify a very zone that okay, this area is supposed to be respected, and in that case it is aligning. So what we are saying is that on the lower time frame, it helps you to do to make entries. So we use the lower time frame to make an entry, we use the higher time frame to study the chart, and then we use the middle time frame to confirm. All right. Okay, so you mentioned buyers and sellers at each zone where I want you to repeat. Okay, so now, so let me still use the same thing. So this place, if this is my resistance zone, what will I do here? Answer in the chat box. If this is my resistance zone, what will I do here? If this is my resistance zone, what will I do here? Drop the answer in the chat. If this area is my resistance zone, what will I what will I do there? Tell me. If this is my resistance zone, what will I do then? Let me see. Very good. Very good. If that place is my resistance zone, I will sell. Good. If that is my resistance zone, I will sell. That is, I will short it. To sell simply means to short. So we have long and short. So in the futures market, you short it or you sell. That is the idea. And if the next place, if this is my support zone, I'll wait for buying opportunity. You get it? I'll wait for what? For buying what? Opportunity. So on the resistance zone, we sell. On the support zone, we wait for buying what? Opportunity. Please, do you get it? Hope it's clear. Okay, let me see. Um,
I was able to. Good morning to you all. I hope you are all doing great. I was able to get in touch with him. Unfortunately, the network is not allowing him to rejoin the Zoom meeting. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
he's
All right.
having the same issue with his internet. He said it cannot connect to the service. Yeah,
All right.
unfortunately.
Let me wrap up. I think
Okay,
maybe probably evening it could be catched up from there.
okay, thank you.
Mm, all right. It's quite unfortunate. These are some of the problems we'll be continuously facing so far as the use of the internet is concerned. It's quite unfortunate that sometimes some places in Africa happens to be facing some of these problems. A teacher of mine once said, "You can't do this in Germany." Yeah, your network cannot just go off like that in Germany. Okay, so let's take the privilege. Okay, let's take the privilege and see how best we can catch it up. Okay, we can catch it up. Let's see something. I'm sharing my screen so that we do a little bit in attachment to what our leader was doing. Then we can wrap it up. Then probably this evening we can move on in that angle. Okay. So with regards to time frames, it's very simple. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen so that we can at least learn together. We can learn together. All right. Mm, okay. Just a minute. Okay. So this is how it works. This is how it works. Let me use the pen. Let me get my pen. Please, can you see my screen? Is my screen visible? If you can see my screen, please, one in the chat.
Yeah, your screen is visible. Thank you.
All right, that's very good. All right. So when it comes to time frames, as our leader was talking about, we use the higher time frames, we have the middle or the medium time frames, and we have the lower time frames. Okay, so basically we can say the lower time frames can range from the 15 minutes, we can have the 30 minutes, we can have the 5 minutes, and we can even have the 3 minutes. Okay, so all these are used so far as time frames are also concerned. So let's take advantage and see how best we can make good use of time frames so far as we want to have a glimpse of how to also enter the market. Now, as he said, let's go straight here. If this happens to be your charts, okay, this happens to be your charts. Now, there were three lines. We have the pivot point, which is the middle one. We have the support below, then we have the resistance above. Okay. Now, there are three things that every trader has to get in mind. As we have the higher time frame, that's the HTF. As we have the medium or the middle time frame, then as we have the lower time frame, that's LTF. We use the higher time frame, which is like the 4 hours, depending on the kind of trader you are, as he was saying. So if you happen to be a scalper, okay, or a day trader, you trade within a day, you trade within some hours, then you enter the market, then you leave. So the higher time frame gives you a clearer picture of how the market is going or the particular coin you are trading is going to perform in the future. That's the higher time frame. It gives you the clearer picture that okay, so in 4 hours time, this coin will be on a downtrend. All right, that's fine. Now, the medium time frame or the middle time frame, which is sometimes preferably 1 hour, will give you a confirmation. So you look at the 1 hour time frame, then you see that, oh, the 1 hour is also telling me that yes, what the higher time frame, which is the 4 hours, was saying happens to be true. Therefore, it gives a confirmation to the clearer picture, which is the higher time frame. Now, after confirming that with the 1 hour, you come to the lower time frame. And what is the lower time frame going to do? It is going to help you so that you enter the market with what confidence. So you come to the lower time frame, then you also examine that, oh, what the higher time frame and the medium time frame were saying was very perfect. So therefore, the lower time frame is also telling me that currently as I speak, the coin is moving down in what? In value. Therefore, what do? We've already known that when you see the candlesticks coming down towards the support zone, you find a better opportunity, then you buy. Okay. Now, when you see the candlesticks which are moving towards the resistance zone, what do? You find opportunity, then you sell because it will definitely bounce back. Okay. So the support and resistance drawing the time frames really works a lot and it helps actually. Now, as you can see here, we have the middle one, which is the pivot point. That's the pivot point in the middle. Then we have the support below. Then we have the resistance also above. Now, using this pivot point as a tool in, an analysis, a technical analysis tool like the trade view, it will help you to spot these zones. And spotting the zones of the resistance and support will help you to also make a very good entry using the time frames as well. Now, let me throw some little light here so that at least we can wrap up. Then, probably in the evening, if God permits, we can throw more light on that one too. If you have a, just a minute, please. If you have something like this, I just need my brush. Good. Now, you can see some candlesticks here. These are some candlesticks. This is how sometimes the candlesticks appear. Now, by default, a bullish candlestick is green. And by default, a bearish candlestick is what? Red. So bearish candlestick, it is red in color. That's by default. If you've not applied any setting to your trade view or any kind of chart platform, bearish happens to be red by default. Then bullish happens to be green, as we all know. So what happens here? Anytime that you see a candlestick printing, before a candlestick finish printing, if you have noticed, you will see that the coin will start to be, or the candlestick will start to be red, and it will go green, and it will go red, and it will go green, and finally it will arrive at one color, that is red. If it becomes red, that means a bearish candlestick has been printed. Now, anytime you see a candlestick, contemplating in color, whether the red is dominating or the green is dominating, when you see that kind of action, it goes red and it comes green and it goes red and it comes green. It means that buyers and sellers are struggling over who to win that particular time frame. So let's say this happens to be a 15 minutes time frame. Okay, good. Now this 15 minutes time frame, this candle here happens to be the last one. And traders were fighting, buyers and sellers were fighting over these candlesticks. And you saw this candlestick, it was turning green, it was turning red, it was turning green, it was turning red. And finally, it's settled as a red candlestick, and you saw a new one being started printed. So if this one turns red, this long one turns red, it means that in this 15 minutes time frame, it was the sellers that won this market, or that particular time that the candlestick got printed. Okay, if it turns green, it means that it was the buyers that won that kind of trade in that particular time frame. And this is what we are saying, that if you are to change this 15 minutes time frame to another time frame, you might see that as this one got printed green, in maybe 1 hour time frame, the green has not actually settled on green, but still, traders are still contemplating who to win. Okay, so some of the time frame give you a confirmation that okay, the sellers have won, but you check on another time frame and you see that the sellers are still, contending with the buyers. It has not got settled. So normally, what happens is that traders are advised that don't enter a trade when a candlestick has not finished printing. Okay, wait for the candlestick to finish printing. And that is where you can even apply your candlestick what knowledge that okay, I've seen a candlestick like this, and there's a small one like this, which maybe we can call it harami. And harami means, a pregnant woman. And this is a long candlestick with a small one in front. And this is maybe a bullish candlestick. When you see something like this, it means there is a bullish candlestick. And a bullish candlestick means that you can go on long, meaning the market is coming to move on an uptrend. Okay, that's where you apply your candlestick pattern and formations. So basically, candlesticks play a very important role. I know of one trader. This trader does not use any kind of tool, but he only uses what the candlesticks to trade. And he has been winning his trades. Okay, he knows the candlestick formation. He knows that if one candlestick comes and the other one comes and there's another one here, no, the market will go up. Then therefore, let me go on long. He knows that, okay, if there is a bearish candlestick that has printed and a green candlestick, which is a buying candlestick, or a bullish candlestick also appears in a very small way, and there's another small one that comes below, that means I need to sell. He has been using all these strategies and he is really winning trades every single day. Okay, so definitely what experienced traders will tell you is that you don't have to know everything about technical analysis so far as trading is concerned. You just have to get a workable strategy that really works for you. But it is good for you to, have that open mind on different aspects of technical analysis so that sometimes you can even combine other, ways of analyzing the market and have a very strong confirmation. So every time, as we who trade with the Royal Q robots who are targeting, daily profits, we are either scalpers or daily traders. And what we do is that we use 4 hours as a higher time frame to get a clearer picture of how the coin is going to perform in some time ahead of us. Then with a middle time frame, what do we use it for? Which is like a 1 hour time frame. We use it to confirm what the 4 hours is saying. And if it's in alignment, we are very happy about that. And most often, when the 1 hour time frame is in confirmation with what the 4 hours time frame is saying, you see that when you come to the lower time frame, which is the 15-minute, 30-minute, 5 minutes or so, whatever, it will help you to actually enter the market with confidence. And you know that, oh, okay, within 3 hours, 4 hours, the coin is going to hit my take profit and is really going to go the direction that the previously two, time frames are talking about. And therefore, I'll win my trade. So knowing how to enter the market, knowing how to confirm, knowing how to look at a bigger picture always give you confidence to enter the markets. And every day you'll be bound of winning your trades. Okay, so let's continue to learn, let's continue to study, let's continue to grab the concepts of how these indicators, time frames, trend lines, you don't have to know everything in trading. You just have to practice one thing that works for you. And when you use it over so many times and you see that this is what is really getting me the profit, that is all. You stick to it. If you want to learn about other things, it's fine. But learn the few you can, study and master them. Practice them in your trading skills. When they work for you over time, you pick it as your strategy, and that's all. You are good to go. And moreover, the market has two directions. If it is not up, it is down. On a worst case scenario, it's either a choppy market or a consolidating market. That's what we call, the equilibrium. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's either up or down. It's like a woman who is going to give birth. If the woman doesn't give birth to a boy, is going to give birth to what? A girl. So the market is like that. If it doesn't go up, it comes down. If it doesn't come down, it goes up. So for you to have a strategy that will just help you to know that this market will go up, and another strategy that will tell you that this market will go down, that's all enough for you. And you'll be successful in your trade. And as more and more you continue to accumulate knowledge, it will also enhance your understanding about how the dynamics of the market also works. Okay. Yeah. So I think basically we can keep it that way, then continue to also, get the concept so far as we are having this kind of information that we are talking about. It's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So I think I have some few questions here. Oh, please, I'm not a professor. I'm not a professor. I'm just a learner like you. Okay, we are all learning. All right. All right. All right. So we will do that. Leaders are going to organize so that we have much benefits of what we are doing. Yes. We all thank you. Let's continue to learn. Let me give you a strategy. Let me give you a strategy. This is what most of the leaders do, and I think we can all learn from it. You see, knowledge is power. Okay, knowledge is power, and there is nothing in this world that you cannot do. Everything is possible, provided you are ready. All of us on this call, we can be very, very, very polished and good traders, perfect traders. We can. All depends on the mindset and our readiness. Okay. Now, we need to give time to what we are doing. And every day, as I say, the knowledge that you have in trading will determine your profit. If you don't have a good knowledge about trading, every day you get stuck in the markets. And your money, every day you donate money to the market. Every day you give a gift to the markets. Your money will just to the market. You can have $1 million. If you don't have the knowledge, you lose all. You can have $1. If you have the knowledge, you can gain 1 million. Yes. So knowledge is power. So this is what most leaders do. They have a timetable. At least every single day, they have 1 hour that they use to study. They use to learn. Okay. So you can put that one also in practice. You can put it in practice. You can schedule your time. That will be your personal time. It is not any Zoom meeting. It's your personal time you want to explore. In fact, information is in abundance than any other time that we can find. Information is everywhere today. Okay. When you seek information, you can consult ChatGPT. You can type into ChatGPT, how do I use candlestick to analyze a market in a shorter time frame? It will give you everything. You take your book, you get your pen or your jotter, you put some points down, you revise, you learn, you see. Anytime you come across a video explaining that concept, you watch it, you try to relate it to what you have learned. And with that, you see that the little that you get from there and the little that you have during Zoom meetings, when you add them up, then gradually your knowledge will be just moving up, moving up, moving up. And by the time you realize, you also be teaching other people. And the more you teach other people too, the more it sticks and you will never forget it. Okay, so there's a little piece of advice that I'll give to all of us. Let's take advantage of the opportunity that we are having, and we can gain more from what we are having. The crypto market is really big. Okay, a market with more than 3 trillion, dollars is a very big market, and your knowledge will determine how much you scoop from the market. So let's continue to learn and scoop more as we can, okay? So that we will enjoy much of it. All right. All right. Thank you a lot. All right. So we give acknowledgement to our leader, Brother Ima, who started the whole presentation. He did very well because it wasn't easy. The network has been up and down, but still, he managed to also join us so that we can have benefit of what we met here for. So the next meeting will be communicated. So far as the dates and the time will also be posted. Then we will come together and we enjoy the class in that manner. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Have a very wonderful morning. Let's meet again. Leader Doris, please, if there is any thing that you would like to talk about, please, you can do that. If Leader Doris is on it, if he's not on it, I can see Leader Chadwick. The Chadwick, if you have anything to also add up, you can also chip in there. Leader Chadwick, I hope. All right.
Good morning, all participants on this call. I'll just make an observation. People who, when they come to these trainings, occasionally, they find ask for more trainings. But the truth is that these trainings are always there. So if you avail yourself to the trainings, you learn more. I'm a living example of people who came and learned. I came here at the beginning, I did not know anything. So anybody can learn these things. It is possible. But give it time. Learn. Go to YouTube channels. Learn. Come to attend these Zooms. And then practice what you have been taught. So that you go and find out what are these timelines, what are they talking about, and do the charts look the same? And if you put a line, does it appear in the same place? So those are the things that you have to go and find out. Find out more so that you make more money. It is true. If you have skills, then you can get a lot of money from very little investment. So stop avoiding to come to the Zooms. Come, let's learn and continue building our knowledge. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We really appreciate. We really appreciate. So we thank you all for coming and enjoy a very good time. Have a very nice day. Bye bye.